But we're gonna start off with the top 5 linebackers at Alabama ever, and then we're gonna go to top 5 running backs ever at Alabama. So I want to see everybody list. I want to see everybody list so we can see what you guys think. But I do whoever want to start first, it don't even matter. Matter of fact, Coach Sean, since you said you did it differently, go ahead. I want to
So before I say this, let me preface my comments by saying, especially my partner Lynn in the chat too. So Lynn, he probably listening. Travis Pernell, hope you in here because I'm gonna reference our partner from our hometown. Listen, man, this is just during my era. Like I didn't get to see Leroy Jordan, I didn't get to see Woodrow Lowe, I didn't get to see none of those people, right? Um, this is and when you talk about top 5 linebackers of our top 5, each person's is different. That's what makes this fun. I couldn't just give you a top 5. I told the guys backstage because 2 spots are already gone. I think I'm not opening no surprises when I say Derek Thomas, Cornelius Bennett. Like that's on everybody's list. So I had to go top 5 inside and top 5 outside. So my top 5 inside at number 5, I got Reggie Ragland. Because if you look at the stats, Reggie was right there with all the top linebackers in Alabama. At number 4, no, let me take this back because they got D'Amico as an out. He played outside too his final year at Alabama, but his other years he played inside. So let me start over. My number 5 is Dante Hightower, not Reggie Ragland. I'm sorry, because I got D'Amico. Number 4, I got D'Amico Ryans. Number 3, I got Reuben Foster. Number 2, I got CJ Mosley. And number 1, and it ain't because I know this kid, it's because to me, this kid was the sheriff of the defense. To me, he's still one of the best linebackers to play at Alabama. To me, he enforced the locker room. I know for a fact, ask Marcus Johnson, he enforced the locker room, right? Shout out to Tanya, shout out to Chris McClain. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Ted. Right? I know this kid per Travis Pernell. If you in here, you know what I'm talking about. Rest in peace, Ted. Shout out to my brother Chris McClain. Me and his uncle hang together. Shout out to his mama Tanya. 12th Street all day. Rolando McClain. Boo. Now think about my top 5 really quickly. Reuben Foster was a thumper, right? He was a thumper, especially his last year, right? All-American, the whole 9. CJ Mosley had 3 seasons of 100 tackles. 3, right? Nobody's done that. CJ Mosley was arguably the best to play here. I put Rolando there because Rolando came at a time when Alabama was not very good. And that boy dominated. I never forget, we played Texas. Number 3, whoever that quarterback was, number 3, threw a screen pass to the little running back, and Rolando like to kill him. Broke his face, man. Like to kill him. I'm talking about straight smacked him, bro. Rolando McClain. So I put Reggie there at number 5. That's what I wasn't gonna put D'Amico with the insides. But if you put D'Amico with the insides, that's Dante at 5, D'Amico at 4, Reuben Foster at 3, CJ Mosley at 2, and Boo at number 1. If you take D'Amico out, I put Reggie Ragland at 5, and then we'll go there. That's my inside. I won't go to the outside till everybody else get theirs done.
Okay.
Think about that before y'all go, though. Hightower, Ryans, Foster, Mosley, Rolando McClain.
I don't know why I didn't write that down.
Okay. All right. So
I think I remember off the top of my head.
I got it. If you need me to repeat it, if y'all got a pen, we're gonna compare. Hightower, Ryans, Foster, Mosley, McClain.
And that's from bottom to top.
That's from bottom.
Yeah, inside linebackers.
Boo is my number 1. If you go 1 through 5, is Boo, which is Rolando, CJ Mosley, Reuben Foster, D'Amico Ryans, and Dante Hightower. That's
okay. I got you there.
All right. So I'm gonna go a little bit different way. I'm just gonna go with the overall player. And when I was looking at him, I'm looking at production in college. How does that translate to a pro career?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Did what you learned that, and then your impact on your team and the success of that team at the professional level. Uh, did it carry over? Because you could be a really great college football player and not not so good pro. Uh, I do, since I'm the OG of the bunch, I do remember Woody Lowe. Okay, watched him play as a kid growing up in Tuscaloosa. Uh, Probably watched just about every one of his games he played as a kid. I used to go to all the games, but his his collegiate career didn't translate to a stellar professional career, so I couldn't necessarily put him on my list. Uh,
Oh,
but
it's
I'm
strictly college, so it don't
Yeah,
even matter.
I know, but I'm just using it as rationale to say, hey, are you
Yeah.
if you all time, to me, football is relative, man. You that guy at sixth grade, you that guy at 12th grade, you're gonna be that guy at college, you're gonna be that guy at pro. It just translates a lot of time if you truly that 1%er. So of course I'm going top to bottom. And Derek Thomas, Biscuit, Kniesman, Rolando McClain at 3, CJ at 4. Um, I got Dante Hightower at 5. And honorable mention is D'Amico. And here's another name that uh, might get raised some eyebrows because he was a heck of a college player, but the time he did play in the NFL for 4 or 5 years, he was consistently over 100 tackles a year, and that's Rashawn Evans. Okay, uh, superior athlete, side to side kind of guy. I'm mystified as to why this guy can't stick in the pros because he just produces. He produced at Alabama. He came in controversially speaking because he came from Auburn, right? And he committed to Alabama. Uh, he kind of waited his turn a little bit. When he got on the field, he never got off the field. So, and all these guys, what they have in common is you can see they had a prolific impact on the field at the professional level. I mean, they were at the top of their game, not only in Alabama as linebackers, but they were at the top of their game in the NFL. It translated. So that's
Mhm.
great. Greatness translates, man. Okay. Uh, and D'Amico is even more so as a coach. Great football minds, superior athletes. Uh, Derek Thomas, Cornelius Bennett, Biscuit, Rolando McClain, C.J. Mosley, Dante Hightower, in my top 5.
It's not a bad list.
Yeah,
It's not a bad list.
I
I
mean,
can
they
tell
just
you right now, one of my favorite lists right now. I'm not giving mine. It can be somebody else. I'm just talking about Larry Large right now is having a hell of a list right now with this O line and I say O line, outside linebacker and inside linebackers. So I love what I'm seeing. I'm saving them, man, just so I can show everybody. Even Lens, I love Lens list too.
I like the
So
way Coach Sean split it up like that though. That
yeah,
that that, that that's tasty, man.
It's
yeah,
too many. It's too many, coach. It's so
I
many.
know, I know. I looked at that, man, but the guys that were outside, you know, in terms of prolific careers post Alabama, it didn't translate. They were
Yeah,
good
that's
at
why I did,
Alabama.
that's
They were good at Alabama, but they
yeah,
didn't.
that's why
To me, man,
I didn't even think about the pros at all. I was just
yeah, yeah,
strictly
yeah. I
Bama,
get it. I get it. I just, I think,
Yeah, yeah,
I think. I mean, if you great, you great. I
yes.
don't care. I don't care if you in the street, you in the backyard playing, or you playing at Arrowhead Stadium. You great.
that's
Period.
fact. I'm about to
So if you
say,
if you if you great, man, I'm not putting a time frame on you. That transcends time.
yep.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, Jazz, Coach Carl, Tez, either one of y'all, who want to go next? We can,
Well,
if y'all
I'm
just
just,
have strict linebackers, that's fine.
I'll get
well,
mine out the way.
I'm
Oh, go ahead.
I'm riding on the road, Ted. So let me go and get mine.
Oh yeah, go for it. Go for it. I'm kind of like Coach Sean, man. I got Rolando McClain my first one, C.J. Mosley my number two. The difference between me and Coach Sean is Dante Hightower. It carried us a long ways until we got a next great linebacker in C.J. Moses. So I'm gonna put Dante Hightower in my three. In half a mile, use any lane. I'm gonna do something different that a lot of y'all not really gonna pay attention to, because I know Derek Tone play edge, but DT is my number four. And now I put Reuben Foster at five because DT played edge and linebacker, and he probably Alabama number one everything defensive player. So
Mm.
I would put Derek Thomas at the top, but Derek Thomas didn't play specifically linebacker. He played all over the defensive field, but he got a lot of sacks from the linebacker position. So that's kind of like my synopsis on the defensive tackles and the edges and the linebackers, man. Derek Thomas is the corner. Derek Thomas is the cornerstone of Alabama football, so you can't leave him out. I would put Cornelius Bennett in there, but Cornelius Bennett was a defensive end that played outside linebacker. But
I
you
like
can't
how you
leave
clean that.
DT
I
out of
like how
nothing.
you clean that up, man. Because I was about to like, all right now, come on now, listen, like, what we doing? But I like how you clean that up. Jazz or Tez, either one.
Yeah, I go. I just say I go get mine out the way, man. I didn't separate it. I just did the five.
Okay.
Yeah, man, y'all making me do this. Derek Thomas, number one. Cornelius Bennett, number two. For me, I got London McClain, number three. London McClain easily could have been number two or three or
Yeah.
one on my list. CJ Mosley at four. And I got D'Amico Ryans at five. But I was before Coach Carl said that, I was wondering, like, can I put Will Anderson on this list?
Yes, I got Will on
Yes.
my outsides. Because remember, before you go any farther, it all depended on what defense they was in. If they was in an even front or odd front. He stood up his last year quite a bit. So I kept him as an outside linebacker, not a defensive end.
I think if I can put Will Anderson on this list, I'll put him at five.
Yeah, I put him with my outside. Facts.
Okay. Jance, what you got for me, my brother? Jance, you there?
Yep, Mike was muted. Had the same situation happen to me. Is what it is. Happens every
it
show.
happens. It
Happens
happens.
happens every show. I'm gonna piss people off in this chat,
Welcome
guys.
back.
Hold on, let me get ready for chances. Hold on, let me sit back in my seat. Hold on.
Listen. Listen. I'm not gonna put Derek Thomas in the conversation. I ain't gonna put Cornelius. Shout out to Cornelius Bennett, the great Buffalo Bill. That's my dad's favorite player. So that kind of part
You
way. So
should
shout
be
out
in
to
the Hall of
Cornelius, great guy. But listen, I'm not listen. Those are edge rushers, right? Will Anderson is an edge rusher. If the
Right.
majority of your snap counts is rushing the quarterback, and you're barely even dropping, no, I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I had this debate a couple weeks ago because we had the list of greatest linebackers, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's like all the all the edge rushers were gone first, and then all the off-ball linebackers were like in the back of the bus. I'm like, wait a minute, what? What's going on here? So I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I can't. I put him in a different category. So we talk about linebackers, of course. Obviously, like I said, I didn't watch the 70s and 80s. I grew up in the 2000s, kind of watching great Bama ball. So I got to put D'Amico Ryans. First defensive player that I think I ever fell in love with in the University of Alabama was a dog during that '05 season when we had a top 5 ranked defense in the country. We just had better quarterback play. That '05 team could have done it, but it is what it is. So I'm going to put him on that list. Number 4 for me, I'm going to put Rashaan Evans, a.k.a. Blade. That dude was a Swiss Army knife. Hybrid player. First couple years at Alabama, first couple years was an edge rusher. They had him like more as an edge rusher, situational pass rusher. Simply just ran, used that dip, and just exploded to making huge, crucial sacks. And I think that's one thing that I think I also have to put over certain players was, did you make key plays that help kind of transform the university? And so like Rashaan Evans had like every national championship game that we played, he made huge key defining plays. Every one of them, whether if it was sacking Deshaun Watson 3 times in those back-to-back national titles, or if it was having that 13 tackle performance in 2 TFL game against Georgia, where Nick Chubb and Sony Michel couldn't do a damn thing. Huge reason why was because he was able to occupy the middle and just able to dominate. I got to put Rashaan Evans. I know he doesn't get that much love, but I got to put him on this list. 3 for me, I got to put Rolando McClain. Dog, just a complete mauler. Helped. I mean, what we saw with 6 national championships, 9 national championship appearances. I mean, that was he helped start it. You know, he was the first huge key linebacker for Nick Saban. So I got to give some respect to Rolando. Number 2 is Dante Hightower. Obvious reasons why I got to put Dante, the first hybrid player in the Nick Saban era, to a point where Bill Belichick took him in the New England Patriots and then gave my Buffalo Bills hell for 10 years. When they just kept putting him on the edge, you can put him as an off ball, and he was like 280 pounds playing as an off ball linebacker hybrid. He gave me hell. Man. Hybrid player, put him in a hybrid defense, made some huge key splashes. Glad 2011, he had the huge moment. So I got to put him on that list. And then let's see, what am I at? Number 2?
I think 2.
Number two. Okay, so number.
I think he was at 1. I think Dante was your number 2, right? Dante
Yeah, I think so. I lost track.
Yeah, Dante is your number 2.
Dante
right?
was number 2, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, I remember because I had D'Amico. Okay, I remember. Yep. So yeah, number 1 is CJ Mosley, the best coverage linebacker.
Yes, sir.
Best coverage linebacker. I think in
Yeah.
University of Alabama history.
Facts. I could have easily put him at 1 too. That's a fact.
Yeah, he was so rangy, dude. Like he was so rangy. Saban, and this is something I have not seen any other linebacker. And I know some people are pissed off because I don't have Reuben Foster on this list. But listen, Reuben Foster wasn't a great coverage linebacker. He just wasn't. Out of all the linebackers, I think Reuben was the worst. And so even though Reuben was a Swiss Army knife and he was a hard hitter, he was a set tone, he was a tone setter. We got too many tone setters on this list. CJ Mosley necessarily wasn't a tone setter, but he was just an instinctive animal. So instinctive, but in terms of pass coverage, a guy that can cover tight ends, cover running backs coming out of the backfield. I remember there was a series of plays where they had him kind of cover a slot receiver, just like emergency situations in the slot. I mean, he was our Fred Warner. What Fred Warner is right now in the NFL, that was CJ Mosley at the University of Alabama, and there has been no other linebacker that I have seen so far that even comes close to what CJ Mosley was able to do on the field in terms of coverage, eliminating the short to intermediate part of the field. That is key and that is valuable. That made that 2012 defense that much better, and that's why Johnny Manziel is still one of my greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Before he got hurt, Dylan was headed down that same path. Though.
Yeah,
he was, and then
he was the same kind of guy. And I mean, going back, one guy that's iconic, and I'm dating myself here, is Barry Krause. A lot of guys you guys probably know about him, but Barry Krause was the iconic guy. The goal line stand in the Superdome that won the national championship. He made a tackle.
Penn
State
game, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, those guys I watched when I was, because I'm older than you guys. But again, I didn't put him on my list because he didn't translate to the pros like that. CJ, Rolando, D'Amico, Dante, their game translated to the next level, which means that they're great. Yeah. They never came off the field.
Reuben did too before he off the field.
He was
defense.
he was defensive rookie of the year.
That's a fact.
Right.
That was the only thing that stopped him, bro. Because it definitely wasn't talent.
Yeah,
it definitely wasn't talent.
Yeah.
Just to get my inside linebackers real quick. Number 1 is, well, I ain't gonna start there. D'Amico Ryans is number 5 for me. I'm gonna say Reuben Foster, number 4. Now this one, number 1 is just it can't change for me because I've seen how great the man was. But this one, I don't know. You can just switch them depending on how I feel that day. Either Dante Hightower or CJ Mosley. Love them both. And CJ the same age as me. Shout out to him. Dante ain't nothing but a year older than me. So around that time, especially with one of my partners going to the University of Alabama during that time from that 09 to 2023, he said, not 23, 2013, he said, man, it was like no other. It was like no other. Like you were just expecting championships, and we won 3 championships during that time. So he got to experience 3 national championships in college. But number one, man, he's just the best, man. He stopped himself from being a Hall of Fame linebacker in the NFL. And that's Rolando McClain. That one pisses me off every time because I was like, bro, I have never seen a prototypical linebacker. He's going to get after it every time, man. That's a dog, man. Still love him to this day. I don't think nobody will. I thought Dylan was going to be that guy for me because he was just, but it's all good.
I want to give some love if we got an honorable mention and say if this guy has stayed healthy. Let me tell you something. See, when I thought about my list, I thought about I hear all y'all to make great points. But when I thought about the middle linebacker spot, I thought about gap integrity. Who gonna come up and smack you? Who ain't gonna be like toe and tackle you with the eyes closed? I thought about people like that, and that's why I put Ruben above Dante. Because when I think of Dante, his year with Rolando, he was like Dante's Robin to Rolando's Batman. You know what I mean? And then the next year when he got hurt at Arkansas, you know, to me, Ruben's final season, right, was equivalent of any linebacker we've had. True, like Coach Jay said, he was susceptible in the intermediate pass. But when you talk about running the football, that 7-man box, Ruben wasn't having it, right? And I got 3 Buckers winners on my starting 5, I might add. Three Buckers winners, Rolando, Ruben, and CJ Mosley. But I want to give major love to Marvin Constant, because if Marvin, to those of you that don't remember Marvin, sure, we had more athletic linebackers like Rashaan Evans that would call for today, right? In this today's spread. But when you talk about football back then, when they was lining up in the eye, coming downhill,
right,
all that finesse was out the window. You needed somebody gonna get in there and thump. I'm talking about thump. You know, if you can't make the tackle, they always taught you to destroy the lineman that's pulling first, that's coming through the gap first. You destroy him, blow him up, as they call it, right? Marvin Constant would hurt himself to hurt you. That boy would hard hitters and thumpers, Reggie, Marvin, Ruben, Rolando. Marvin Constant would have been right there, bro. I'm telling you, that boy was Marvin. Now didn't look like Marvin then. Marvin now by 220, 230. Marvin back then by 245, 250. Solid with straight blitz you, bro. He just got hurt. Injuries kind of robbed him. Yeah, I challenge everybody that's an Alabama fan. Go Google Marvin Constant. That's on Bama Standard. That boy was listen. He didn't play no games coming downhill. If you was that guard pulling first or a fullback, bruh, you might get ready. You had it was on.
He had that mentality, man. He had the mentality. He had a middle linebacker mentality.
Facts,
in the old 4-3 days when guys are running all that ISO stuff, man.
Stuff, yes.
Man, you don't want to see him. He gonna get those bad attentions every time. Marvin Constant, and Bama wasn't winning back. Marvin Constant.
That's a fact.
That's why he don't get a lot of love, man. But man, go back and watch that boy, man. And he would eat you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and
yes,
then
he would.
Okay, all right.
Look, Coach Al. That's back when they wore them spats. Remember them old spats? Them spatted up. But y'all, those of y'all don't know what spat is. That's when you lean. You know about them spats. That's back when they used to Larry Laws. That's back when they used to tape the cleats and the ankles all the way up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Spat it up, as we call it, spat it up. Man, Marvin used to be out there spat it up, boy. I'm talking about thumping. The big old thick face mask and them big old TRX shoulder pads.
Yeah, right.
It was huge.
I don't know how they ran those things, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Marvin Constant, man.
I didn't want to get talk about just go down. I say a lot of folks list Lynn. Of course, I think DT without a doubt is the greatest, the foundation of Alabama football, like Jan said. Like, that's the guy, man. Rest in peace to DT. Leroy Jordan, of course, I never seen. But of
Dwayne
course,
Rudd is another name.
you
Dwayne
hear
Rudd.
Dwayne Rudd. Yeah,
Dwayne Rudd.
he
Y'all
made
need
my
to know
honorable
about him.
mention. Yeah,
Y'all need to know
facts.
about Dwayne Rudd, man. He was one of the first big linebackers in
Yeah,
Marvin
he's
Yeah, he was.
in McCants.
yeah,
Guys were
Keith
6'5",
oh
McCann.
man,
Yeah,
that's
245.
definitely honorable
Man,
mention right
yeah,
there.
they
Man.
those
Keith
guys,
McCann.
man. They just, but we wasn't winning big time back then. So, but
But
I come through that era. So me and Lynn probably can have some long conversations
yeah,
because he seemed like he was right there.
definitely got to shout out to this man because I don't know what the hell the NFL is doing. And I'm gonna stand on that ledge and scream it out to him. Cornelius Bennett needs to be in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Facts, man.
I don't know how
Facts.
you win a Defensive Player of the Year, make a lot
Yep.
of first team All Pros, made Pro Bowls.
Right.
There's so many accolades not
Right.
made the Hall of Fame. It's so many guys that don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, like Deion Sanders said. Shout out to Coach Prime. Like this ain't the Hall of Good. This is Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad that he said that, and it ended off with C.J. Mosley and Rolando McClain. This is not a bad list, Lynn.
Yeah.
Larry Large.
EJ Jr. was another name out there we want to toss around as an outside.
Hey man, throw out the names. We love them. Mosley, McClain, McCants, Foster, and Odin.
Derek Oden. That's back in '92.
Oh, Derek
I was a
Oden,
kid
yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Derek
Oden.
Oden,
Yeah, right.
Lemansky Hall. Lemansky, I went to A&M with his sister
Lemansky.
Tiffany.
Lemansky, yeah, right.
Shout out to Lemansky.
I
Shout out
got
to your,
See, I
shout out
like
to
what I
your
was learning
sister
about these
Tiffany
folks.
too. A&M grad with the A&M with her. Reason why I didn't put them on there, Derek was a thumper. Now you talking about thumpers? Yes, Derek Oden could have easily made my list. Lemansky, if you remember, was a safety that they transitioned to middle linebacker, number 11, right?
Very agile guy.
Yeah, them guys was
Very,
thumpers back then. Facts.
And then to end it off, and two names, and I'm glad that actually three names, Larry Large, but of course, DT got Cornelius Bennett, got my boy Anderson on here, who
Yeah, I
we
got
did not
Will.
mention.
I
Ryan
did.
Anderson.
He on my list.
Yeah, you did
he's
mention Ryan
outside
Anderson.
linebacker. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know how we didn't mention Courtney Upshaw.
He on my list. He on my
Outside
list.
linebacker.
He on mine.
Oh, I'm looking at it right here. It's right behind it. My fault. Yep, it's right there. So yep, and Hall. I'm trying to think of who was Hall.
Lemansky.
Oh,
You
okay.
know,
I put Tim
one,
Williams over Lemansky.
Yeah.
You know, one player that we probably would, we all probably would say does not deserve to be on this list, but I'm gonna give him some admiration because he was a true leader. And the only starter linebacker with 3 national championships, man, that's Nico Johnson. Like, Nico doesn't get a lot of love, man, for what he was able to do in the locker room, especially on that 2012 team, man. But yeah, he wasn't again, he wasn't the most athletic,
man.
wasn't the thumper.
You guys not even talking about our current D line coach, Roach.
Yeah, Freddie Roach.
I think D'Amico overshadowed him because he played with D'Amico.
Yeah.
They was
I
think D'Amico. Freddie was a killer though. Don't get it wrong. Freddie was. He was a thumper.
Yeah.
He was a thumper, bro.
Right.
Matt Wilson.
Are we putting Trey Priest on this list?
No.
I wasn't a big fan of Matt, man. Until Matt changed my mind like towards the end. Like towards the end. Matt started to change my mind.
Yeah.
Shout out straight out of Carver in Montgomery, Alabama.
That 2019 season ruined it for that 2018 season ruined it for me. I'm sorry. Like I was about to do it until I saw that the back end of that 2018 season. I'm like, oh no, can't do it. Can't do it.
Yeah. This is where the fun really begins. That was fun right there. I'm glad that you did it that way, Coach Sean, because that had everybody just talking about names.
Yeah,
even names I'm gonna have to look up because it's a few names I didn't know, so I definitely got to look them up. But this is the fun part right here.
This is very tough for me. Let me say that.
I know we all gonna have different of opinion. I know we all gonna have maybe somebody list gonna be similar, but I doubt it. Top 5 running backs.
Can I go first so I can get mine out the way?
Oh, please. Whoever want to get that smoke first.
Damn, Coach Sean, I believe you gonna start
first. Start at 5 and work.
Hey, Coach Carl.
Matter of fact, if you have any honorable mention the honorable mentions first before you get to it.
So Coach Carl, shout out to Kenneth Darby who called. Kenneth, love you to death, man. You my broski. Listen, Coach Carl, I think we're gonna have something different though, Coach Carl. My honorable mention, and this is just me. Let me preface why, because everybody gonna be like, why? When you start doing running backs, right? Coach Al, Coach Carl, Coach Jay, all y'all know everybody's carries was different. They played in different eras. Like KD had more, people don't know this, but KD had more carries than Derrick Henry. KD had 700 some carries at Bama. Derrick Henry only had 602. So, or 620. No, 602. I was right. So when you comparing eras, the only thing I take from it is the average. So if you had 100 carries or 400 carries or 700 carries, the average is still the average of what it was, right?
Mhm.
So my honorable mention is TJ Yeldon, Eddie Lacy, and my brother Kenneth Darby. You know what I'm saying? Love all them, right? That's my honorable mention. They was awesome. They could have easily been on this list.
Yep.
Number 5, Bobby Humphrey. You know what I mean? This kid, 2-time All-American, averaged 5.6 yards a carry. Marlon's daddy. All-purpose, 3,000 some odd yards. You know, when everybody knew he was gonna get the ball, he still done his thing in an era where front seven play was what it was. It was not for the faint of heart, man, back then. With no spread offense back then, you know. Number 4, the all-time leading rusher at Alabama. Got to put him on here. He's number 4. Now he's this low because he had 3 years of carries, right? 2 full starters and 1 backup to Josh and Damian. Najee Harris, leading rusher at Alabama with 3,843 yards. Najee's number 4. Number 3 with 727 carries, which is a lot of carries, averaged 4.9 yards a carry. Sean Alexander. He's number 3. Number 2, probably my favorite running back in all-time history at Alabama, Mark Ingram, the Heisman Trophy winner, kind of catapulted Alabama to being good again. You know, it came a point in time where Mark would tote that rock, had Trent backing him up, of course. But you got to put the Heisman Trophy, you know, if best is best, you got to put Mark up there at number 2. And for me, the number 1 running back to play at Alabama, my brother Sherman Williams too should have been on this list. But the number 1 running back at Alabama, only 2 years of starting. So his stats equal some backs who had 3 seasons to do this. You know, he didn't play a lot his first year. He didn't play a lot. You know, Oklahoma game, he came out and did well. But this kid averaged 6 yards a carry, bro. 6, right? 602 carries, had more yards than practically anybody. He right there behind Najee, you know what I mean, on 2 seasons, right? 35.91 to Najee's 38.43. And that is King Henry, Derrick Henry. So 5, Bobby Humphrey, 4, Najee Harris, 3, Sean Alexander, 2, Mark Ingram, and 1, Derrick Henry.
I already hear controversy already.
But everybody's reasons is different.
I'm not even gonna tell you who I have controversy because
I want to know. I want y'all to give me all the smoke on why.
I'm writing it
you
down.
You can't put Eddie Lacy because Eddie Lacy only had that one good season.
I'm not worried about Eddie. I'm not worried about Eddie.
TJ Yeldon, stat wise, could be there.
Wait, bro.
Rand Stacy.
You gotta let me go, man. You gotta let me do this list. I'm gonna draw a
Go
lot
ahead.
of
Go ahead.
I might piss off Coach Sean, but
yes.
I am gonna do it. Number 5. At number 5, I'm gonna put Sean Alexander at number 5. For 10 years he was my favorite NFL player, greatest Madden game of all time, Madden 07. He's on the cover on, of course, MVP. So I love shit.
Hold on, Jay. Let me interrupt you just for 3 seconds.
Yep.
I didn't take NFL in none of my logic.
Oh no. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You good?
Yep. Like, yeah. But Sean made me like, he was the first player that made me go back and watch college highlights. I got into college. You can say Sean Alexander is the reason why I got into college football. Back when I was like 6, 7 years old, and when YouTube, you know, when they first started. But I'm gonna put him at number 5. Number 4, I'm gonna give respect to Najee Harris, career leading rusher. Had consistent years, played 4 years, pretty big contributor. I'm gonna give respect to Najee Harris at number 4. That's the controversial one. You can easily swap them out if you want to, but that's a controversial figure. Okay, this is where things are going to get tough because someone is, a very important key player is not going to be on this damn list. So it is what it is. But number three, I'm going to put. I keep switching it, but I'm putting Mark. I'm putting Mark Ingram at number 3. Heisman Trophy winner, had a fantastic 2009 season. I would have put him up high, a little bit higher, but I think 3 is exactly where I'm at right here. So here we go. Here we go. Top 2. Coming in at number 2, I got to put I almost switched it up. I got to put Trent Richardson at number 2, and I keep changing this, but this is the one thing that I think that I have to factor. Trent carried that offense to a national championship. That's the reason why I got to put him at number 2. He carried the team to a national championship. I can't say that about the others. Mark Ingram won the Heisman, but remember, he shared the backfield. He shared that backfield with Trent. And both those, I mean, literally either one of them were good enough where if you could have just handled the mantle, both of them would. I think both of them could have won the Heisman. Could have been in Heisman conversations. The only reason why Trent didn't get the carries was because Trent was a freshman. That's the only reason why. But Trent had the better game in the national championship. And then, but that 2011 year, I don't care what people say. Of course, you had Robert Griffin III. He ended up winning the Heisman Trophy. But I'm sorry, he didn't deserve it. It should have went to Trent. Trent carried a team to a national championship win. I mean, AJ McCarron was god awful. People don't want to say it because he's the darling here, right? 3 national championships, 2-1 here. He sucked that year. Kevin Norwood and Marquise Mays was our best receivers. Michael Williams was a great blocking tight end, but he was our best receiving threat. Like, we had a great offensive line. 2012 was even way better, way better. I still think it's the greatest offensive line in history. People want to say the COVID year. I say 2012. But Trent, what he did against 6 top 10 defenses that we played against that year. People forget 2011 SEC. That might have been the best year ever in terms of SEC record. 6 top 10 defenses we played that year, and Trent Richardson mauled it. I mean, the worst game you can say he had that year was the game of the century where he had 150 all-purpose yards, 20 carries, 96 yards against a top 5 defense of all time. So I'm sorry, I got to put Trent at number 2, and then number 1 is Derrick Henry, the second running back to carry a team to a national championship. Because Jacob Coker wasn't bad, he was better than McCarron, but you think about he also had Calvin Ridley. See, this is why I keep switching it because the more I'm talking, I'm like, wait a minute, 2015.
Exactly. I did that with Trenton Mark. I got Trent/Mark. I got both of them on there. Mark went to Heisman, so I went with Mark.
We get him somewhere.
Facts.
Yeah, but Derek's year. Well, we were. A lot of people thought that we were on the deathbed because we ended up losing Ole Miss back-to-back years. Shout out to Chad Kelly. Shout out to Buffalo legend Chad Kelly, but we ended up losing, those back-to-back games, and everyone thought we were on the deathbed. No, but Derrick Henry carried that offense to a national championship, 2,200 and 300 rushing yards. Stanford fans are still crying about Christian McCaffrey not winning the Heisman to this day, and they can still cry about it because the Heisman's not coming home. So, but Derrick Henry, greatest rushing season of all time at the University of Alabama, was a freight train that particular year. I still blame Nick Saban for both of our Sugar Bowl losses because I have no idea why Derrick Henry had less than 15 carries in both those games, but it is what it is. Derrick Henry's number 1.
Hey man, this is
okay.
Oh my God! Yes, I'm loving this. Keep
going. I got some controversy. Okay, I got some controversy. All right, so see, there's a lot of agreement here about top guy. But one guy nobody's talked about, and I'm not going to talk about his stats. I'm just going to, his impact on the game when he was at Alabama was noticeable, and where he came from was out of nowhere. And my rationale, again, I'm going to go to how does the game translate to the next level, which is the pinnacle of the sport. If you're great, you're great. And your trajectory tend to ascend. So I'm not gonna deviate from. I'll go from top to bottom. Derrick Henry's obviously not. You can see he's still doing it. He's broken through glass ceiling at 30 years old and just killed. Got fixed.
Facts.
Uh, I truly remember when Sean Alexander was my number two because you knew he was getting the rock. You knew he was going off tackle. You knew they was going to pitch it and toss it. And you still couldn't tackle him. Okay. He had that breakaway speed. He would make the first guy miss. He can make you miss in the hole, and he can run over you, and he can run away from you. And he was never hurt. He was always as a running back to take that many hits, knowing you'll get the ball, and you never. And guess what? They wasn't chunking it all over the field. They was running the pro set,
Yeah.
ISO kind of stuff. So he's my definite. And then another guy who I truly love, same kind of dude, just don't get a lot of love, was Bobby Humphrey. He's my number four, my
Yes,
number
sir.
three.
Bobby Humphrey was that dude.
He went to the Broncos and was just that guy at the NFL. Again, it translates, and that was my rationale. That was my rationale for this list. Yeah, you can be great in college, but you can be a Phil Ford or Bobby Hurley. You just don't translate to the next level. Okay, that means you're great in college, but you're not great at pro. If you're great at Pee Wee, middle school, high school, college, and pro. You're great. That's my rationale. Uh, Behind Bobby was Mark Ingram, just a straight dog. He is who he is, a bulldog. Again, it translated to the pros. Now, my number five. This is where the controversy begins.
Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage at number five, Josh Jacobs. Okay.
Man, I forgot about Josh, man.
Not a bad one.
But I have my
I'm gonna
likes.
tell you something. I was at the Orange Bowl when Bama played Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and Josh Jacobs destroyed that safety when he came up on him. And you don't want none of this smoke, man. And to me, Nick Saban should have started Josh Jacobs over Damian and Oldham. He was the best guy, but he made a difference with our offense. He was the number three guy who was probably the best guy in the backfield. Okay, but Nick stayed true to his hierarchy, his lineage. So to me, when you look at Josh, his trajectory, he's having a pro career that's stellar. And so that's my top five. And a lot of people say, why you put Najee and why you put Trent? They got my honorable mention. Okay. So Najee and Trent are my honorable mention because Trent, his game didn't translate to the pro level. He was outstanding in college. He was a physical specimen, a freak. But for whatever reason, it just didn't translate to the next level. I don't know why. Maybe he just got with the wrong team or whatever or something, but he just never, so Josh Jacobs is my number five.
Woo. Okay. Coach Carr said he running into
That's for you, my running back brother.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Coach
Yeah,
Sherman.
he played running back.
I know. I ain't never seen your film, man. I ain't never seen your film, but I think you got some Josh in you. Okay.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I got some
everybody.
smoke for him in a minute, man, because I still can't get over it. He didn't even mention the man in his list. I was like, oh. But go ahead.
I was just thinking along. It's so many, bro.
Yeah.
Trent, my boy. Josh, my boy. TJ,
Yeah.
and I used to love TJ. It's just so many, bro.
Oh,
Katie,
by the way, I didn't mention my boy Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon.
I watched him since
He
was
just
12
couldn't
years
stay
old.
healthy.
That's just the only thing. He
That's
just
what
couldn't
sucked.
stay
He just couldn't stay healthy.
I mean,
Facts.
I should be sure Kenyon may be watching this. Kenyon, I'm sorry, man. Coach Al loves you. You know that. You know that, man.
Yeah.
You know that. But from a talent standpoint, he was right there.
Yeah, that boy.
And he had a really good
different.
pro career, man. He had a really good pro career, man.
Yeah.
So sorry, Kenyon. I'm sorry, man. When you see me, dap me up. We'll see you.
Yes, sir.
We still down, man.
Well, yeah, Carl.
Oh yeah, he said he on the road. He got a terrible signal, so I'm gonna read off.
Oh man, I was looking at that. I
was looking for what it said. What Coach Claw said.
Yeah, Coach Carl is. Hey, Jazz. you got some competition with your rant, man. Because when Coach Carl get on the road, oh, bruh,
Oh yeah.
Hold on,
he
I
don't
think
got
he
none of
put
that
his
smoke, man.
Yeah, he put it in the back check.
No,
okay.
we heading to ATL, man. Got going to
Coach.
Georgia Tech in the morning with on the coaching conference. So
Oh, we got you.
I got a bunch of coaches in the truck, so and then kind of loud, I can't talk.
Oh no,
Yeah,
you good. I'm about to say you got it, Coach Shad, if you want.
But yeah, like I said, man, my number one is Derrick Henry. It don't matter what day, what time, what month it is. It's just Derrick Henry, man.
What
That dude
planet?
was a freak of nature. He killed everything that came his way. When he got the touches, you couldn't stop him. So that's my number one. My number two is Mark Ingram. First Heisman Trophy winner ever Alabama. You got to get the kid respect. So it's all
yeah.
about Mark Ingram. Before Derrick Henry was Mark Ingram. And before Mark Ingram was Sean Alexander. So Sean Alexander sit at three with me. My four is Bobby. Bobby Humphrey is the old school guy. He did it. Basically everything Alabama man that's ever. It came down with me, which the last one came down with me. It was kind of like crazy though. Like I wanted to say, I really wanted to say Trent Richardson at four. I put it in the chat at four, but I think Trent Richardson is more like Mark Ingram. They should have been up there right with Mark Ingram within 2, 3, 4. But Bobby was a cornerstone of football back in those days.
Yes, sir.
So I can't
Right.
put Trent before Bobby with a 1 year sample size when Bobby had three. So
That's
I
right.
just swapped that around and put Trent at five. I wanted to put
Fact.
Trent slash Najee Harris because Najee, like Coach Sean said, the all-time leading rusher at Alabama. But I had to put Najee in my honorable mention. But I put him down there with Derrick Lassie. A lot of folks don't pay attention to Derrick Lassie. Derrick Lassie was actually the first Kenyon Drake Alabama had because
Yeah, he just did
you
it for
put it
one
you
year though.
just he was just that 1 year, but that 1 year man was
Snap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
spectacular. Like one
Hey,
year was
then
yeah.
you
spectacular.
want to talk
Him
about
and
Kerry
him
Gould?
and
Then
Henry. I mean,
you want to
yeah,
talk
but
about him?
him and Sherman Williams in the backfield together was shit
Yeah.
unstoppable.
Chris Anderson. Yeah. See, I
So
think Trent was better than Najee Harris. I just do. That's just me.
yeah,
But
Trent was
Najee,
better than Nigel because
yes.
Trent had to do it without without their legitimate passing game. Him and Mark Inglewood did it without their legitimate passing attack.
Right.
Nigel had a passing attack his senior year with Matt Jones.
Right.
He had a
That's right.
passing attack that took him over the line. Like
3 first
that
round
passing,
receivers
yeah,
too.
You're right.
that passing attack, putting Najee in
Right.
the rim was shit. You can't really focus on the running back when you gotta focus on these guys. You got Henry Rowe, Jared Judah, Vontae Smith, Jalen Waller, shit,
Yeah,
John
4.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
Like you gotta focus on the passing game, and then Najee was the benefit of the damn running game. That's why I left him out of the top five because he benefit for that stellar offensive passing game. Derrick Henry
I
had
just
to go
can't
without a
stand
passing
seeing a
attack.
big back like Najee that do all that juking stuff. Can you imagine if you 6'2", 230 and run like Josh Jacobs? Najee, if that was Najee on that
Right.
safety, he would have jumped over him. You
Right.
know what I
Right.
Yeah,
mean? He
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
gonna lower
if
the shoulder and
Right. Right.
yeah. So
If Josh Jacob was 6'2", oh my lord.
facts.
Mhm.
And
Mm-mm-mm.
before you go, Ted, yeah, Lynn, I understand we using just Coach Saban mostly, but I highly doubt I think any of those guys with Coach Bryant would jump these guys any day. Out of all the guys that we named from Sean Alexander to Derrick Henry to
I
Martin.
remember Saran Stacy,
Saran
Yeah.
Stacy. Yeah. Right. Right.
Bobby,
Kerry Gould.
Kerry
Hurt
Gould.
his knee. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I just don't think Leon, I don't believe
I don't
them
know.
guys was awesome. Like Saran was awesome. Rest in peace to
Mhm.
Saran. I didn't see Johnny Musso. I don't remember
I saw
him, but
him.
I saw Saran.
He ran about a 4.8.
I just
No,
don't think when I think it's Saran today with a 7-man box, I just don't know he's better than Derek or Trent or now Bobby was a little different. Bobby was a little taller. Bobby about 6'2",
Yeah. About
you know.
6'1", 6'2", about 195, 205.
Yeah, man,
Enough
that
to
dude was
run.
Yeah, but he wasn't under Coach Bryant.
That great
I
That's
only,
ball.
right. That's right. He was on Ray Perkins, wasn't it?
Yep,
Ray,
right.
yeah,
Only person
That's
I
right.
can see from back in that era, man, that can actually compete with these boys in this era would be Johnny Musso. Johnny Musso was fast and physical.
I don't remember
Nah,
him.
man, he was like an
He
option,
didn't have
man.
a he didn't have a whole lot of twitch in him, but he was just straight up the gut go, and he was real physical
I
and
don't
fast.
They
remember
was
him.
running
He
an
about the
option
only
though,
one I
man.
can see that can compete with these guys
But,
with all their footwork, their skill, the
but,
reading them front side and back
but
side
Coach
capture.
Carr,
Like
Musso was in an option offense. Okay, they ran a wishbone. Okay,
Flex
so
and all
you
that.
know, no, it was a wishbone, straight up
The
wishbone.
true wishbone. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it had the tearaway jerseys too.
Yeah. Oh
Okay,
man. Okay.
and so
yeah, he
so
was a straight wishbone
you
running back.
know,
So
yeah. So
Okay.
to me, he fit the system, but again, his game did not translate to the next level. Okay,
no, he
and
didn't transfer
yeah,
to the pros, but we talking straight college football.
I
Yeah,
know that's my rationale.
straight college
Regular
yeah.
season,
football, it'll be Johnny
re-
Musso, but I just don't. I really like you put him in this day and age. I don't see his game translate to this day and age like these guys had evolved over time, and with the
the
schemes
only
of
guy,
offense, the schemes of defense, and now I
only
just
guy
can't
would
see no
say
guy from that day and age being able to compete.
Wilbur Jackson
Mhm.
could do it.
Oh yeah, I seen highlights of dude.
Wilbur Jackson had the size and the speed. That he had a decent NFL career too. He had the size and speed. He played for. He wore number 80, I think. He played in the backfield. I watched probably most of his games at Alabama. Okay, so
Hey,
I could definitely see with these eyes what a guy looks like on the field. Okay,
Ted,
Yeah.
the only op on here. What's your
Yeah.
opinion on these Alabama running backs, man?
They
Bo Jackson.
so I just did this by I guess the running backs that we didn't want to see. Um, so I didn't go back that far because I didn't see some of these running backs,
I
but I'm gonna
understand.
go with Sean Alexander as 5, Heisman Trophy winner, was the face of Alabama football when I was like in high school growing up. Right, he was the player that was like Sean Alexander. Everybody knew him. Najee Harris at number 4, physical specimen, particularly probably like the last couple of years when he was on the Sarkeesian. They got him the ball in a whole bunch of different ways. You knew they was gonna find a way to get him the ball. They couldn't do nothing about it. Number 3, I got Trent Richardson. Trent Richardson was the first. I ain't gonna say the first, but it when it comes to Alabama running backs that I looked at as an Auburn fans, like they don't want to tackle this dude. Like just physically was abusing as a running back. Then you got to go with Mark Henry, of course, the season he had, Heisman Trophy winner. And then everybody number 1, probably the same.
You
Derrick
said
Henry.
Mark Henry?
No, Mark Ingram. Mark Henry is a wrestler.
I'm about to say the wrestler. You had the wrestler on that team.
I don't know. You give him the rock, he might be able to pick up, you know what I'm saying, 3 or 4 yards. But Mark Ingram, and then number 1 is Derrick Henry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what else? What do you need to say about that dude? He's still all you gotta do is turn on the TV, come NFL season, you'll see it. It's still happening.
No love for
Nah,
Eddie. No love for
nah,
Eddie Lacy.
Eddie
hey,
Lacy was a
Brinsker.
problem, man.
It is honorable mention.
The
It
spin
is
move.
Hey, Brinsker. I'm gonna play devil advocate.
okay.
Since we force you to do that, let me ask you a question. What is your
Uh-oh.
all-time favorite Auburn running back? Your
Who's your
Bo
top
top
Jackson.
5
5?
Auburn.
Easy.
My
Give me your top
all time favorite. Top 5. Okay, 1 is Bo Jackson.
Give me
So
your
do we got
favorite
to put
5.
him in there? Let's see. Bo Jackson, number
Trey
1.
Mason.
Trey
five.
Mason is probably
Do he make the list?
probably number 2 on my list, man. As far as my
Trey?
favorite,
He was a dog.
as far as my favorite running back,
Steven
Okay.
Jackson.
watching him run
I mean,
the ball.
Stephen. What's his
Davis.
name? Stephen
Uh,
Davis.
Stephen
Right.
Davis is on that list.
You
Cadillac.
still who you
Cadillac?
forgot? Cadillac and running Brown.
Cadillac is probably number 3. Ronnie
Played-
Brown
played
is
all
probably
them
number 4.
And don't forget about Joe.
You said number 4. So Cadillac 3, Ronnie Brown, number 4.
Ronnie Brown, number 4? Really?
Yeah. Cadillac,
Who's
Ronnie
number 2?
Brown. Because they almost it's Cadillac and Ronnie Brown is almost like you got to put them. They should be one. That should count for one running back.
Man, give
I
me
did that on my
Cadillac.
list, so that's a spoiler. I
You
did
know
that
what I
on
mean? Like,
I don't understand.
but
cheated on-
okay, if I got to get a 5, man, my favorite. See, this is different because all time versus my favorite. Like I could go Kenny Irons was a good guy. My guy Brad Luster was a great running back.
Brad Lester,
Ontario McCaleb was fast as lightning. Like Michael Dyer had a great freshman season on the Cam Newton.
Michael Dyer was good.
Yeah.
But is this favorite or best? Which one?
That's what I'm trying to think. That's the
what
question.
about James
Yeah,
Brooks?
I asked him what his
James Brooks?
all-time
Who's
favorite.
2 then?
James Brooks. I
Top
forgot
five
about Brooks.
favorites.
James Brooks, man.
Favorite, my second favorite running back is probably Trey Mason. I was a Trey Mason fan. He probably not up there on nobody's all time. This at number 2, but
No, but who you
Boston.
got at 2?
Forgot
Because you
about
said you
Boston.
got Kelly. I know you said you got Bo at 1. You got
So you
Cadillac
got Bo at 1. You got Trey Mason, Cadillac, Ronnie
Cadillac's
Brown,
probably
who
number
else?
2.
Who was 5?
If you're talking about all time, it's probably Bo Jackson, Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown. Then
Trey
I'll
Mason.
probably go
James
Trey Mason.
Brooks
And
don't make the top 3, man.
Stephen Davis don't make it?
James
Stephen
Brooks.
Davis, but I ain't really watching.
Exactly. You got
I'm trying
you
to
got
stay
Stephen
within my age
Davis.
group.
You got Tank. Like y'all ain't thinking about your boy Tank. Your boy
Tank
Tank
Bigsby.
carried Auburn for 4 damn
Hey man,
years
when you
straight.
have so many great running backs, it's tough to narrow it down to 5.
Well, y'all running backs ain't our running backs. Y'all running backs ain't our
Was
running backs.
he?
And then a lot of them were just great for like a short period of time. You know, you talking about all time, you got to look at longevity. You know,
Outside of Bo Jackson, Cadillac the best running back y'all never had.
yeah, I agree with that.
If you use Coach Al's logic by translation,
To the
transition.
NFL. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why he brought up Tank. You know, Tank can be in that conversation too, depending on how his NFL career continue to prosper.
Yeah, I played high school ball against Cadillac. That boy.
Yeah, Lynn said William Andrews, Stephen Davis. I used to play with on the video, man.
Yeah, that
Right.
big route.
Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Brandon
It's the
Jacobs.
Brandon Jacobs. Yeah.
Brandon Jacobs wasn't Brandon Jacobs at Auburn.
Yeah, I barely remember.
It didn't take him but a year to become Brandon Jacobs. When he
Oh, I
went to
know,
Wisconsin.
but he wasn't.
He just
Brandon
didn't get on the
Jacobs
field.
the
I
Giants,
believe.
not Brandon Jacobs. If y'all had Brandon Jacobs on Auburn, like Brandon Jacobs was on the Giants, undeniably, y'all would have won the national championship.
Yeah, you don't know till you give him the opportunity. He went to
You
a
right.
school, he got the opportunity, he balled out. He couldn't get on the field that much for us.
Man, but this is my top 5. And I cheated on my first off, honorable mention to all the guys, TJ, Eddie, Drake, who else got Upchurch, Coffee, Glenn Coffee.
Still got to think about Sharman Williams, Derek last year.
Sherman.
Yeah, all the guys, man. But I'm gonna start off with 5, and 5 is actually a picture because I got to meet him at the Senior Bowl. And he was you can see how happy I was. I was extremely happy.
That boy was good, man.
And this man, and Tez can vouch for this. This man was acting like my uncle, and I was his nephew.
I thought y'all knew each other.
I swear, you would have thought he knew me. I said, man, where do I know you from? It just showed me major love, man. Shout out to him. And I told him, I was like, hey, man, my dad watched you, and I watched your son. And we're just cracking up laughing, man. Great man. I know my dad loved him and heard a lot of stories about him. So,
and he grew up in the hood.
A man's man.
Don't be fooled.
Oh yeah. I love Bobby Humphrey. He definitely climbed up on my list, but I already had him there already. 4, I got Najee. Everything about Najee was just like Najee can literally do it all. I just wish Najee ran more of a power back sometimes. Like, bro,
he's
you're not. You just use your size, man. You are that guy, and hopefully Jim Harbaugh would get a lot out of him with the Chargers, because I don't know what the Steelers were doing sometimes. But this guy right here was the reason I started watching Alabama football as a young kid. Still pissed off at Tom Brady. This when I got introduced by Tom Brady when we lost in the Orange Bowl to the goddamn Michigan Wolverines. I still get pissed off about that game more than a lot of games. Sean Alexander, I love everything about Sean Alexander. Should be in the Hall of Fame. And I will repeat, should be in the Hall of Fame. NFL need to stop tripping. Stats line up. Nobody has more touchdowns than this man. I think Sean ought to play like 7 years in the NFL. And the stats, what he put up in 7 years, over 100 touchdowns, 10,000 yards. Come on, man. That's unbelievable.
Them facts, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Facts. Say that again.
As a dumb facts, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, man.
You're gonna put Terrell Davis in there, but that saying you're gonna need to put Sean Alexander in there.
And he has an MVP. He got a lot of stuff to back up his. Well, TD got an MVP and 2 Super Bowls, but yeah,
the years as far as the stats in the years.
Yeah, but these two together, man. Oh, and definitely honorable mention too. I seen Len put in the chat. Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs is definitely in there. Honorable mention, but Mark and Trent, man, they just go together, man. I just can't separate them, man. That was a freshman year of college. My first national championship I actually seen. The other one happened when I was 1. So, of course, I can't count that. But this is the actual one I sat there and seen with my own eyes with guys my age. So, I loved everything about this team. One of my favorite Alabama teams of all time. So, Mark and Trent, I couldn't separate them. And that's what I got pissed off about Coach Sean about, because he didn't even have Trent on this list. I was like, come on, man.
What I did. Trent and Mark, I figured I had to pick one, because of the Heisman. But if you look on my list, I got them / Mark and Trent on my list.
Yeah. That's what I did with Cadillac and Running Brown.
Yeah, man. True. It's hard to separate them, man, because they was a dynamic duo, man. Because one come off with another one coming, bro. And Trent was everything freshman year. And of course, the man, the MVP, the future Hall of Famer. The man is literally 1 Super Bowl away, just 1. He probably don't even need a Super Bowl to already have his career. But the man is literally 1 Super Bowl away from having the greatest running back football life ever. Derrick Henry, from high school to college to the NFL. The man has literally been the best at every single level. Yeah. And most running backs cannot say that. Literally at every single level. One of few that can say that. So, future Hall of Fame, King Henry.
Hey, Brinsky.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry is a modern-day Jim Brown.
That's a fact.
Period. Jim Brown, when he came on the scene, was a big guy that was outrunning small guys and running over linebackers. He just didn't have Derrick Henry's stiff arm. But seriously, go back and watch some of the Jim Brown stuff, man. He was a freak of nature, man. He was just a freak, man. And he's a great athlete. But their styles, the running styles, are very similar.
And I want to thank DeMarco Murray for letting Derrick Henry rest for like 2 years, because they really wasn't running him when they drafted him in the 2nd round to the Tennessee Titans, and they picked up DeMarco Murray, who still had a good career in the NFL. Yeah. But when when Derrick touched that field, it was over with. And it's certain people I want to have a Super Bowl before it's all said and done. And I think with him and Lamar being on the same team, Jalen got him one and Smitty got him one. So I really wanted Jalen to get one. Now I need Lamar and Derrick to get one. And then I think I'll be good for the time being. There's just certain people I just want to see get one.
Unfortunately,
Nah.
Brinsky, as long as Josh is the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, that would
I forgot.
Man, I
Forgot we
look
got
at
some AFC North guys up here.
I
If
look
Jason
at
was up here, it would have been even more controversial.
bro. I
But-
look at Derrick Henry. Now hear me out. I look at Derrick Henry like I look at LeBron James, and I'm not a LeBron James fan. So like, but when I say that, I mean like, okay, there was an interview one time from Dwayne Wade when they asked him like, "You seen LeBron up close? What is it that makes him so great?" He pointed to the sky and was like, "The man upstairs." He's like, "We never seen nothing that like that size, that speed, that healthy for as long. It's got to be from upstairs. It's not like he was born to be Derrick Henry that you see. Like when you see him play football, it's just I don't know. When you recruit a kid like that, you got to know seeing him like, man, this dude right here is transitional person. Like he's in the top 1% of people in terms of size, speed, and everything. Like, and he's been relatively healthy his entire career. That only comes from God. Playing the position like that, at running back position, to be able to do it that long, that good, came from upstairs.
Yeah. Hey man, that's a great way to end the show right there, man. I like
Man,
that.
don't end the show like that, man. War Eagle. Put War Eagle in there.
Awesome
alert.
No, that's a perfect way. Auburn fan with that type of compliment. Hey, you know who?
Hey, man, I call it like I see it, man.
Hey, you know who set that up like that? The man upstairs. But appreciate everybody for